Hey everyone, Adam Beck here from HardcoreGamer.com, and today we're taking a look at Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. We were invited down to take a sneak peek at the new expansion and wanted to give our quick overview of some of the jobs. In this video, we're talking about the brand new Viper and Pictomancer. Every expansion comes with a handful of jobs, but this is the first time since Stormblood where we've gotten 2 DPS. Let's start off with the twin blade wielding Viper. Viper is not too dissimilar from a class such as Reaper. It has a similar flow, but it is far easier than any of the other melee by a wide margin. The first thing you will notice is that there's actually very few buttons. To combat button bloat, Viper only has 2 buttons that facilitate its melee combos, something I wish more jobs such as Dragoon would utilize. Its rotation is pretty simple. Your standard attack raises a gauge and will maintain buffs such as an attack damage increase, a debuff on the enemy so they take more damage, and an increase of your auto attack speed. Because the job essentially guides you through its combos, it's somewhat difficult to drop most of these buffs. In comparison to Reaper, it even has a reawaken mode when 50 gauge is used, something that's basically Enshroud. Here basic attacks will change into new powerful attacks, with every hit generating an OGCD follow-up and a borderline finisher. In between going into the reawakening phase, the main rotation will consist of building meter through your standard combos as mentioned, and another smaller but heavy-hitting combo that's triggered through a 60-second cooldown skill. This will provide a single rattling coil diamond on your HUD, something that can be banked up to 3, allowing you to unleash 2 powerful attacks. Overall, Viper is a simplistic but surprisingly fun and flashy job to play. The only downside we found was that the limit break is a little plain, especially in comparison to the rest of its attacks. Moving on to Pictomancer, this is a magical ranged DPS with a good mix of instant abilities and lengthy casts. The core rotation is very simplistic. This is centered around a 3-step combo of casts that give you 25 pallet gauge along with a single piece of white paint. The white paint can be used on an insta-cast ability or saved for when 50 gauge is accumulated so it can be used to flip to black paint. The black paint can be used to unleash a devastating comet, which is roughly 60% stronger than its holy counterpart. This is pretty straightforward, focusing on not overcapping your gauges while figuring out when to use holy and when to swap to common and black. Unfortunately, the canvas system we felt was a little clunky. How it works is there are 3 canvases that can be painted on: monster, weapon, and landscape. Landscape acts as your buff that's available every 2 minutes. Weapon is a unique 3-hit combo that's available every 60 seconds with a stack of 2 charges. And the monster motifs are OGCDs you can weave with a 40-second cooldown, but stacks up to 3. The clunky part is having to stop the fairly engaging systems to repaint the different canvases after they've been used. We wish the cast times for this would be reduced as it takes just under 3 seconds to finish your brush strokes. It just doesn't feel as intuitive as the rest of the kit. As for its defensive abilities, it's closer to Red Mage in this regard, with a raid-wide barrier that's available every 2 minutes. There is a little bit of skill behind this though, as there's a proc that reduces the cooldown by 30 seconds when the barrier is absorbed. Overall, we enjoyed our time with both Viper and Pictomancer. Viper offers fast and simplistic combat, while Pictomancer has a lot more to think about. Both also utilize fewer buttons thanks to the consolidation of its combos into 1 or 2 buttons. We do think Pictomancer might need some adjustment, but otherwise it's still refreshing to play, even though its visually impressive aesthetic is somewhat out of place in the 14 universe. But what do you think? We're excited to get more hands-on time with both of these jobs when Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail releases July 2nd. Anyways, be sure to check out our Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail videos detailing all the other jobs. Otherwise, for everything Final Fantasy XIV and gaming related, stay tuned to HardcoreGamer.com for your fix.